Everyone seems to reach for chrysanthemums the moment fall arrives. Those bright, cheerful flowers that instantly fill porches and patios as soon as September rolls in. But let's be honest for a second. Mums are a bit like seasonal trends. They look amazing for a short time, and then they're gone just as quickly. If you've ever watched your once beautiful pots fade and wilt before Halloween even arrives, you know exactly how frustrating that can be. So here's a better idea. What if instead of relying on short-lived flowers, you planted containers that stay bold, full, and beautiful all the way into winter? There are fall plants out there that don't just survive the cold. They actually get better because of it. Stronger color, better texture, longer life. In this video, we're going to explore 7 incredible fall container plants that outperform mums in every possible way. Richer textures, longer lasting color, and far more personality. No matter your style, whether you prefer rustic, modern, or cozy cottage, these plants will completely transform your outdoor space. Your pots will stay vibrant long after everyone else's have faded away. Let's dive in. And by the end of this list, you might not feel the need to buy mums ever again. 1. Ornamental kale and cabbage, the stars of fall. Let's start with one of the most overlooked champions of the fall garden. Ornamental kale and cabbage. These aren't your everyday vegetables. You're not growing them for the kitchen. They're cultivated purely for their visual impact, and they deliver it in a big way. Picture layered rosettes of color, deep purples to soft pinks, creamy whites, and cool greens, all arranged like natural sculptures. They don't just sit in a pot, they create a statement. And here's where they really stand out. As temperatures drop, they don't fade, they intensify. Cool nights trigger deeper pigments, making the colors more vivid with each passing day. Purples become richer, pinks glow brighter, and the greens take on a frosted, almost luminous look. It's like the cold weather enhances them instead of damaging them. Meanwhile, while mums start to collapse after the first frost, ornamental kale and cabbage stay strong. In fact, a light frost actually improves their appearance. Some gardeners keep them looking fresh and vibrant all the way into early winter, even with a dusting of snow. When planting, give them room to grow. Use large containers so their roots can establish properly. One plant can easily become the centerpiece, but they also look incredible when combined with trailing plants like ivy or creeping jenny spilling over the edges. For a layered container design, place kale or cabbage in the center, then surround it with lower plants like dusty miller, heuchera, or pansies. This creates a full, textured look that feels intentional and professionally designed. Care is simple. Keep the soil evenly moist but never waterlogged. Good drainage is essential to prevent root issues. Every couple of weeks, a light feeding with diluted fertilizer will keep the foliage vibrant and healthy. And here's a simple trick. Remove any yellowing lower leaves. This keeps the plant looking clean and encourages fresh growth at the center. When everything else fades, these plants hold their ground. They bring bold color, structure, and energy to your containers long after most fall flowers have given up. If you want something that truly defines fall, not just survives it, this is where you start. 2. Heuchera Coral Bells, the master of texture. If kale and cabbage bring bold color, heuchera brings depth, richness, and elegance. This is the kind of plant that doesn't scream for attention, but once you notice it, you can't look away. Heuchera is all about foliage. Its leaves come in an incredible range of colors. Deep plum, bronze, lime green, silvery tones, even near black shades. Many varieties look almost hand-painted, with veins and patterns that add incredible detail. Unlike most fall plants, heuchera doesn't rely on flowers to stand out. Its leaves are the main attraction, and they last for months. Even as other plants fade, heuchera keeps your containers looking full, vibrant, and alive. One of its biggest strengths is versatility. It grows well in partial shade, but can also handle sun in cooler conditions, making it perfect for porches, entryways, and balconies. Its naturally mounded shape fills space beautifully, covering bare soil and creating a lush, finished look. When choosing varieties, contrast is key. For a bold, dramatic arrangement, combine dark varieties like deep purple or black with lighter plants such as dusty miller. For something brighter, mix lime green heuchera with deep colored flowers for a striking pop. And for a softer, natural feel, pair copper-toned varieties with grasses or ferns. Heuchera blends effortlessly with other plants. Yep, but it can also stand alone. A single plant in a simple container can look clean, modern, and elegant. Care is easy. Keep the soil lightly moist and well drained, never overly wet. Let the top layer dry slightly between watering. Occasionally remove old leaves or spent flower stems to keep the plant looking fresh. And as temperatures drop, many varieties deepen in color, adding even more visual interest as the season progresses. In milder climates, Heuchera can even stay colorful through winter, making it a long-term feature in your containers. This plant proves that you don't need flowers to create impact. With its rich tones and lasting beauty, Heuchera brings a sense of depth and refinement that elevates any fall display. If mums are bold and temporary, Yas Heuchera is timeless and effortless, the kind of plant that makes your containers look professionally designed without trying too hard. 3. Pansies and violas, small flowers with a powerful presence. If there's one plant that proves you don't need large blooms to make a statement, it's pansies and violas. These compact flowers deliver an incredible amount of color and character, often outperforming much larger plants in terms of visual impact and longevity. Think of them as the cheerful faces of the fall garden. Their soft, velvety petals often appear hand-painted, featuring intricate patterns, delicate streaks, and rich color blends that look almost too perfect to be natural. You'll find them in a wide range of shades: deep purples, bright yellows, crisp whites, warm oranges, and soft blues, sometimes all combined within a single plant. What truly makes pansies and violas stand out is their resilience. They actually thrive in cooler temperatures and often bloom more vigorously as the weather turns colder. In many climates, they continue flowering through light frosts and well into winter. While other plants fade after a few chilly nights, pansies remain fresh, colorful, and full of life, even when the first snow begins to fall. For the best effect, plant them densely in containers, hanging baskets, or window boxes. The fuller the planting, the richer and more vibrant the display will feel. Their compact growth creates a soft, carpet-like layer of color that instantly enhances any arrangement. To elevate your design, combine pansies with structural plants like ornamental kale or cabbage for contrast, or place them around taller elements such as grasses, heuchera, or small evergreens. Their low-growing habit makes them ideal for filling gaps and tying the entire composition together. Care is simple and rewarding. Keep the soil consistently moist but not overly wet. Pansies prefer steady hydration but don't tolerate waterlogged conditions. Regular deadheading or removing faded blooms encourages continuous flowering. With just a bit of attention, they will keep producing new flowers throughout the season. For even longer performance, consider planting violas. These smaller relatives of pansies are even more cold tolerant and produce an abundance of smaller blooms that last for an extended period. In milder climates, they may even return in early spring, offering a second wave of color after winter has passed. While many fall plants fade quickly, pansies and violas continue to perform. They're reliable, vibrant, and perfectly suited for long-lasting seasonal color. 4. Ornamental grasses, movement, structure, and drama. If you want to transform your fall containers from simple to striking, ornamental grasses are the key. They introduce something that most flowering plants cannot: movement. As the wind moves through them, their blades sway, shimmer, and shift, bringing life and energy into your display. Even a gentle breeze can turn them into dynamic, ever-changing forms. They catch light beautifully, create soft shadows, and add a sense of motion that elevates the entire arrangement. These grasses act as the structural backbone of your container design. They add height, contrast, and definition, while remaining incredibly easy to maintain. For containers, compact or clumping varieties work best. Some excellent choices include purple fountain grass with its deep burgundy foliage and soft, feathery plumes that glow beautifully in evening light. Japanese forest grass, Hakonekloa, a graceful cascading plant with golden green tones that brings softness and flow, especially in shaded areas. Blue fescue, a neat, low-growing grass with a cool silvery blue color that pairs perfectly with softer or cooler-toned plants. Ornamental grasses are extremely versatile. They can serve as a bold centerpiece in a large container or as a subtle textural element in smaller arrangements. They fit seamlessly into any design style, from rustic and natural to clean and modern. Their color range adds even more interest. From warm golden hues to deep burgundy shades and cool blue tones, many varieties shift in color as the season progresses, creating a display that evolves over time. Even as winter approaches, their appeal continues. The plumes dry into sculptural forms that catch frost and light beautifully, maintaining structure and visual interest even when other plants have faded. To plant them successfully, choose a container large enough to support root growth. Use well-draining soil and water regularly during establishment. Once mature, most grasses become drought-tolerant and require very little care. When spring arrives, simply cut them back to encourage fresh new growth. Ornamental grasses don't just fill space, they define it. They turn simple containers into focal points and bring balance, texture, and movement to your fall displays. Paired with plants like pansies, kale, or trailing greenery, they create compositions that feel dynamic, complete, and full of life. 5. Heathers and heaths, the cold season champions. When most plants start to fade and disappear as the season changes, heathers and heaths are just beginning to shine. These compact evergreen shrubs bring color, texture, and life exactly when your garden and most of the neighborhood starts turning dull and gray. At first glance, they may look soft and delicate, with their fine, needle-like foliage and clusters of tiny bell-shaped flowers in shades of pink, purple, white, and magenta. But don't let their appearance fool you. These plants are incredibly tough. They thrive in cool conditions, handle frost with ease, and continue looking vibrant well into winter, even when temperatures drop below freezing. What makes them truly special isn't just their blooms, it's their foliage. Depending on the variety, and the leaves shift color as the seasons change. Bright green tones gradually transform into shades of bronze, copper, gold, or even deep red as the weather cools. This means your containers aren't static. They evolve, gaining depth and character over time. If you're aiming for a natural woodland-inspired look, something that feels soft, layered, and slightly wild, heathers and heaths are perfect. They pair beautifully with ornamental grasses, small conifers, or trailing plants like ivy. The contrast between their fine texture and a bolder foliage creates a rich, balanced composition. To keep them happy, plant them in acidic, well-draining soil. Keep the moisture consistent, never too dry but never waterlogged either. Adding a layer of bark mulch helps retain moisture and protects the roots during colder weather. For a longer-lasting display, mix different varieties with staggered blooming periods. This way, you'll have color starting in early fall and continuing well into winter. Position your containers somewhere visible, near an entrance, along a pathway, or on a patio, so you can fully appreciate the details. When combined with seasonal touches like pumpkins, pine cones, or branches, they create a cozy, storybook autumn atmosphere. Even when snow arrives, they continue to hold their shape and beauty. While everything else fades away, heathers and heaths remain upright, textured, and quietly striking. If you've ever wanted your fall containers to still look alive in the middle of winter, this is the plant that makes it possible. 6. Sedum, the effortless standout. When it comes to low-maintenance plants that still deliver a strong visual impact, sedum easily takes the lead. If you want a container that looks full and vibrant without constant attention, this is the perfect choice. Sedum, also known as stone crop, is a succulent. Its thick, fleshy leaves store water, making it extremely drought-tolerant and remarkably resilient. Forget to water it? No problem. Sudden cold snap? It handles it. Windy conditions? It barely notices. There are many varieties, but for fall displays, one of the best is Sedum Autumn Joy, Hylotelephium telephium. It produces clusters of small star-shaped flowers that start out soft pink and gradually deepen into rich copper and bronze tones as temperatures drop. By late fall, the color becomes warm and earthy, perfectly in tune with the season. But sedum isn't just about flowers, its structure is just as important. With its upright stems and rounded leaves, it brings stability and form to your containers. It acts as a visual anchor, balancing out softer or trailing plants and giving the arrangement a more intentional, designed look. It pairs beautifully with ornamental cabbage, heuchera, or dusty miller, creating contrast through texture and color. You can also enhance the look with natural elements like small pumpkins, moss, or pine cones for a cozy, organic feel. The combination of firm, succulent leaves with softer plants creates a balanced and visually rich composition. As the flowers begin to dry, resist cutting them back. The seed heads take on a sculptural quality, catching frost and light in a way that keeps your containers interesting even in winter. Many designers intentionally leave sedum standing for this exact reason. It adds depth and character long after other plants have faded. Sedum prefers full sun and well-drained soil. It doesn't need much feeding. Too much fertilizer can actually weaken the stems. Once planted, it requires very little attention. In many ways, sedum is the ultimate reliable plant. It doesn't demand care, doesn't lose its shape, and continues to look good regardless of the conditions. If you're aiming for a container that feels modern, structured, and effortlessly beautiful, sedum is one of the best choices you can make. 7. Dwarf evergreens, the year-round backbone. If you've ever wanted your fall containers to stay beautiful not just for a few weeks, but all the way through winter and even into spring, then dwarf evergreens are exactly what you need. These compact, cold-hardy shrubs bring structure, color, and life to your outdoor space throughout the entire year. While seasonal flowers fade as temperatures drop, evergreens remain full, vibrant, and perfectly shaped through frost, snow, and harsh winds. They are the definition of long-lasting reliability. Classic choices like dwarf Alberta spruce, boxwood, juniper, and compact arborvitae are popular for a reason. They come in a variety of forms and shades, from deep, rich greens to cool, silvery blues, and each adds a refined, timeless look to your containers. Some grow in neat pyramids, others form rounded, sculptural shapes, and some varieties even trail slightly, softening the edges of your arrangement. One of their greatest strengths is versatility. Dwarf evergreens fit seamlessly into any design style. In sleek, modern containers, they create a clean and elegant look. In rustic pots like terracotta or wooden planters, they feel warm and natural. No matter your aesthetic, they adapt effortlessly. What truly makes them stand out is how well they transition through the seasons. Think of them as the anchor of your container design, the element that holds everything together. In fall, you can pair them with ornamental kale, heuchera, and pansies for color and texture. In winter, add pine cones, lights, or red berry accents for a festive feel. Then, as spring arrives, swap those elements for bulbs or fresh flowers, while the evergreen remains in place, keeping the composition grounded. Maintenance is minimal. Once established, they require only occasional watering. Just make sure the soil drains well, as they don't tolerate excess moisture. A light trim in early spring helps maintain their shape and encourages dense, healthy growth. For a professional-looking arrangement, follow the classic thriller, filler, spiller method. Use the evergreen as the thriller, the main vertical focal point. Surround it with fillers like ornamental cabbage or heuchera, and finish with spillers such as trailing ivy or creeping jenny to soften the edges. This combination creates a balanced, full, and polished display. Another major advantage is that evergreens stay green all year. They continue photosynthesizing even in colder months, which means your containers never look empty or lifeless during winter. If you're tired of replanting every season or want a setup that always looks elegant regardless of the weather, dwarf evergreens provide the perfect foundation. They allow you to build a container that evolves with the seasons while maintaining a consistent, stylish base. Add just one to your fall arrangement, and your space will stay polished, vibrant, and alive long after other plants have faded away.